What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another video. Merry Christmas to all, and I have a unboxing here for you guys. Something that I ordered a couple weeks ago. This is the HalloweenCostumes.com Inferno Scarecrow. I've wanted him for quite some time, and I finally managed to get him on sale for $100, which I think was a pretty good price for him. He's like a budget prop, but also kind of not. It's hard to explain. I'll get into that later, but he is by Fun Costumes, and he's by Techie. And this has got all the stuff. This is all that's on it. A little disappointing, but whatever. So, without further ado, I'll go on. I already cut the tape on the top here, and I'll go ahead and go through what we got on here. So I'll go ahead and lay the parts out, and we will see what we have. Alright, so I kind of took out some stuff out of the plastic and all that. Cut all the zip ties and stuff. So we've got the upgraded new model control box from the original one from 2020, because this is a 2020 Home Depot animatronic, and I didn't even know he existed until last year. I don't know how, but he somehow slipped through the cracks, and I never knew he existed until then. And when I saw he was coming, when he conveniently came back for this year, I just had to grab him. I just couldn't during the season because there's so many other props I wanted to buy. And this guy was not on my list, but now I have him, and he's here, and we're going to set him up and demo him and whatnot. So, obviously we got the control box. We got 4 poles, it looks like. The chest piece with motion sensor. And then his arms and head and shoulders. And that, I'll get into that in a second as well. And then the base, which I'm going to give this the award of being the tiniest base I've ever seen on a prop. It is so tiny and lightweight. I don't know how this is going to hold something with that much spring tension in it. But it is so tiny. I am a pretty big fan of the base weld supports on there. That's something that I really like that they're doing on these props now. I think it's also on the control box, I believe. So let's go ahead and start with the setup here. So we are going to find our A pole, and I'm going to show you kind of how you do this. Just like that. Same for here. So yeah, I really liked this guy back then when I found out he was a thing in 2024. And I don't know why I just didn't get him then. For only $100, you cannot go wrong with this prop. It's like the best budget prop ever. And truly, he's such a great animatronic. We're gonna take B to B, like so. Now we have to do C to C, which I'm going to find his control box. So his back is facing me. So we're going to try to connect this like so. And we're going to check the modes that I have, or we have on the prop. So we have the adapter, the DC 6-volt 2-amp, foot pad jack, speaker jack, or volume control. We have on, off, and foot pad, or try me button. And he is battery compatible, which I do like. But now we're going to go ahead and snap lock him in, like that. And I was right, it does have more weld supports on there. Huge fan of that. Adds a lot of extra support. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to plug in the included 6-volt 2-amp DC adapter, which will just go in right here. like that. And then that goes in there, just like so. Sorry for all the background noise. There's a little bit of vacuuming, it sounds like, going on. But he's already pretty tall. As you can see, next we have to match D to D, which I believe is in his body. I think it's in here. Pretty sure D is right there, yeah. So let's go ahead and connect our D pole. So, yeah. Let's go ahead and do that with one hand. This might be kind of hard to do with one hand. Still trying here. Yeah. Let's see if I can do this better. Everything in here is like this felt fabric lining, which is kind of nice. There we go. Alright, he's on. So now I'm going to show you how I snap lock him in here. As you can see, again, there we go. He's clicked in, as you can see right there. There is some Velcro on the back here if you want to undo him right there, so you can unvelcro him if you wish. Alright, the next step will be attaching the chest plate to the Velcro straps right there, on the hook and loop fasteners. So just kind of take this here and just kind of patch it on there. Kind of hard to do here. But yeah, I'm going to fix it up a bit and you'll see what I mean. Alright, this is what it should look like when you're done. Once you get those two hook and loop fasteners tightened on there, and that should be good to go. Now we're going to move on to connecting the wires, which is going to be on the back of him. So I will go ahead and let's go ahead and turn them around here so you guys can see all of the wires we need to connect. So we've got to connect G to G, H to H, and F to F. And once you get that done, it should look something like this. So there they all are. H is the motion sensor, F is for the flicker flame in the head, and G is for the arm swiping and retraction mechanism. So once you get that, then we are going to move on to snap locking his arm into place for his swiping motion. So then you will find this little slit in the clothing here, and you will find part labeled E, which is going to go snap lock onto that part there. I'm going to try to line it up the best that I can here. Probably not going to work out too well because I am using one hand and it's kind of heavy. This is like worse than the body. So then once you get that on, it should just kind of click in there. You can kind of see it coming through there. And just like that, it's clicked in there. And now you can pose him how you want, and the setup is pretty much complete. So I'll go ahead and demo him. I'm not going to pose his arms due to this room being very small, and he's like 7 foot wide when his arms are out. But as you can see, his face looks so cool. Love his face. But I'll go ahead and do the demo. Alright, here he is, activated. As you can see, such a cool prop. Really love him. I love the flickering in his face. And here's the second phrase.
There are creatures hiding in the fields. Time to run. I hear them coming.
So I hope you all enjoyed the unboxing and setup and demo of the Inferno Scarecrow. Now I'll get on to the review. Alright, so I really love him. I think he's such a cool prop. He's great for like even as like a static. I just love the design of his face. With like all the scratches and staples in his face, and then the eyes are like yellow and the mouth is orange and stuff. I also love the skeletal rib cage. I think that's also really cool. It very reminds me of Bag of Bones when I used to have him. I'm not too sure how I feel about the Velcro though. Kind of annoying to deal with. The burlap is great quality. His hat is a really thick felt. I love the draped of creepy cloth over his hat. I think that's another really cool touch that I love on him. His hands are posable. Both are. This one is only up to about here. Their fingers are posable. They're like, again, a thin felt. He's got a rope around his wrists, his neck, and the top of his hat there. He has two phrases, which I think are fine. I think they're both pretty good phrases. My only complaint is how just kind of bad it looks on the back. Not a huge fan of that. So it makes him more difficult to use outdoors, but I will find a way on how to make him outdoor use to use next year for the Halloween display. His build was very easy, very simple build. It only took me about 5-10 minutes to do. It took me a bit longer because I was recording a video, but normally on a daily basis it takes about 5 minutes to set him up and put him all together. He has two motors in him. One is for his swiping hand. The other is for the flicker flame in his head. Yes, there is a motor that spins around a light, which is what causes it to flicker. Again, I like the hands. They're very cool. So the claws, almost. And overall, he's a really cool prop. I really liked him. He was only $100 at Home Depot, and he's only $100 now on HalloweenCostumes.com. So I really recommend you guys go pick him up. Obviously, this is a bring-back model, so he's completely upgraded and rehauled. He's got new wire connectors. His mechanism is most likely improved, and overall, there's probably a lot more improvements I don't know about, because I don't own the old model. I only own this one, which is the new model. And he's super cool, and I really think that you guys should grab him. I would consider him a budget prop, because if you guys know, I did unbox another a budget prop, which was a Lowe's prop, which was the Nightmare Spectre, and his quality was very good for a budget prop. His is also very good. He has more quality in his face and in his clothing than he does, like, the clothing structure. Because, like I said, the back is not very good. Like, I can just pull this back and you can see pretty much everything on him. But he's super cool. I really like him. Probably my top 10 favorite Scarecrows of all time. I just think he's so cool. And the concept is so unique. But, yeah, overall, I'd give him a solid 8.5 out of 10. Character-wise, it's a 10 out of 10. I love his character. He has a lot of personality, it seems like. But yeah, that's pretty much all I had to say for the Inferno swiping a Scarecrow from HalloweenCostumes.com. I will leave you a link in the description to where you can purchase him if you want. Yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye.